actually officially late.
We are talking The Walking Dead from Sunday's episode, and I believe the name of it was Now, N-O-W, and I loved how it opened with Rick running with his manly stride with a herd of zombies behind him, because last week we were left with him in the Winnebago starting to get surrounded by the herd, half of the herd that was coming. So, oh my gosh, it was freaky. What did you think of the beginning, Tommy?
First, Deanna went off the rail right off the bat. She has no clue how to handle things at the moment. So, Rick coming back in was like, to me, it seemed like, you could see her face lighten up just a little. So it's kind of like a saving light to her.
Yeah, when she was up on the wall and then you saw her face change, then the next scene was him running.
Yeah.
Yes. It was very intense because I thought, oh my gosh, after that 90-minute episode, of nothing but Eastman and Morgan, I was so glad to see some action. Then, like a true American, he comes in the gate, right? And he gives a speech, right? Got to be quiet like a graveyard. And one of the female residents says, it is a graveyard. And that kind of freaked me out because I was like, they really have been so protected geographically, not by their wall, just by chance, that they just don't get it. Because our group has seen so much death, that to her it was a graveyard. They had been Mayberry RFD for all this time.
Oh, yeah.
It was very, hey, Ohio, wow, long time no see. And I loved how Aaron, right, is out there and he says the quarry broke open, but Rick's plan led half of that herd away from our community. He didn't have to do that, and give credit. Aaron is really a strong character.
Oh, yeah, I liked Aaron. And he stepped right up and took blame for his pictures.
Okay, because we talked about this last week and it blew my mind, right?
Yeah.
Because I think PJ, Fuzz, and Stan said those it was his backpack. But I thought, why would he have in his backpack pictures of the wall? Because that was something that bothered me when Aaron came up on our group. I think they were at the church. And it was like, why didn't he have pictures of the community or the houses or anything? Because that's why I thought it had to be the Wolves had taken the pictures.
No, it's actually at the barn, right when the
after the tornado.
But he had the pictures to show him what they had there. It was to prove to him that they had a safe place.
Okay, that's what threw me, because when he pulled the dead wolf off of the backpack and he seemed so stunned, I was like, why is he? I thought he was stunned by the pictures. It was his backpack that he lost with Daryl when they went into the trap at the 18-wheelers in the wolf compound, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now that makes sense. And just what you said when he said that if he'd listened to Daryl when they were out looking for people, Daryl wanted to look for people, but he wanted to go to the cannery, and that's where he lost his pack. And when he said that's what led those people here, we know they were the wolves, or however you say it. We say wolf in the South, the wolves. Y'all have to work out the proper grammar, words, whatever. And that they followed his footsteps there, and you could tell he was just devastated.
Sorry, I'm trying to send Ohio a link.
Okay. But yeah, it was
Walking Dead too.
Okay. But yeah, that was really stunning to me. So he did show him to the group previously, and that was what I wondered. I figured you would know.
Yeah, but he came right out and said, it was my fault they came here. I'm to blame. I mean, he didn't hide it. He came right out and did it.
Yeah, and then he gave Rick credit for leading half the herd away and explained once the quarry broke, They had no choice. But and when Rick said they're 20 feet deep, 20 zombies deep, or 20 walkers deep around that community, that gave me the willies.
That's a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's deep. Man, I was like, holy smokes. And this community was just so protected, living in La La Land, that it was just devastating to them to see that many walker. And they call them something else. They don't call them walkers. We call, our group calls it walkers in a herd.
Well, it kind of freaked them out when what was that girl's name? When she went up and killed the one in the house.
Oh, yes. Is that Jessie, the dead
Yeah,
surgeon's wife? Do you know who that was, who she killed?
I don't remember.
That is Betsy. Remember when Michonne in our group was out there and dumb Sturgis shoots one of our guys in the leg? That's the one who's in the infirmary now. When they freaked out and had to fight some walkers and they all fell apart.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one who Michonne wrote on her arm that, oh, did I fall down? Did I fall out? No, there I am. Okay. That is the one who, when she wrote on her arm that he would make it home, and he wrote his goodbye note to the woman he loved on that receipt paper from the pet store.
Oh, that was
And
his.
Michelle, well, yeah, but wait, it gets more worse. Our worstest. Okay, so Michonne didn't take the note. Well, when whatever his name was that he didn't return, okay, she killed herself when he didn't come back. She committed sideways suicide in her house, and because they all have the virus in them, she turned into a walker.
Well, see, now that's messed up. She should have at least, popped herself in the eyeball or something.
Listen, they're inoculated there in La La Land, right? Making cookies, inviting people like Carol in from the former junior league, and she just could not deal with it. They have not had any hardship like Maggie, right? Losing Herschel and Beth. They just have not, and they don't value the fact that they are alive.
True.
You know? Yeah.
Ohio.
So, I mean, it's a mess. Ooh, and then the food bank scene, that was pretty bugging, right? And notice it was two fat guys, right?
Oh, it
Okay.
always is.
Oh, yeah. So Chubby Bruce, right? And they want food now because they can die tomorrow. Because again, they don't even think about, oh, we could defend ourselves, right? No, they're just a bunch of, wusses, basically, for all that is. But then when Spencer steps in, right, and calms the whole thing down, I totally dug that. Then Chubby Bruce goes, oh, yeah, well, I hope you've checked the gate, Spencer. And Spencer admits that, yes, it was his fault the gate was left open. And that was when the Reverend came in, wasn't it? Or if he is a Reverend, we don't know. And he said, close the gate. And of course, he didn't close the gate.
Well, here's the problem I got with Spencer at the moment. Well, it's not really with him. It's the transfer truck that was coming at him. He opens fire, shoots the far out thing. It hits that little building. When he goes down to check on the person inside of it, if I'm not wrong, it was already a decayed body. Wasn't it?
No, I don't think so. Because he didn't even kill it. Remember, somebody, wasn't it Morgan who got in the passenger side, had to kill it?
Yeah.
So Spencer took credit for that, remember? As far as, if it weren't for me, that 18-wheeler would have driven in through the walls, right? So, but I did like that he stepped up. Tommy?
What?
Yeah. He's not.
Ohio's trying to come in.
Okay. So he took credit for that, but he gave a really good speech, right? But he did stop the truck and he asked Bruce, where were you? Yeah, because where was Chubby Bruce?
Yeah. He was with the rest of them, hiding.
Yeah, because our Carol had to woof up, right? And handle it like a man. I mean, Carol went from junior leaguer cookie maker to straight up thug. That was the most epic episode ever.
I still dig her in the wolf gear, saving Morgan
Yes.
anyway.
Oh yeah, walking down the sidewalk. Pew, pew. Yeah, it was way awesome.
I'm
I
talking
like
about
what.
when she ran up when he was getting ready to fight that. Once she runs up and he thinks that it's going to be 2-on-2 against Morgan, and then she stabs him in the belly.
Yes,
That was
I like.
badass.
I like what Fuzzfork 8 just said. Our elites in Washington have the same mentality as the folks in Alexandria. The chubby Bruces and stuff.
Oh, true, true.
Yeah. And then Fuzz says Spencer's stealing foods. He'll get himself killed. And I was shocked at how rude he was to his mama when he's in there. I mean, he is liquored up because at this point he's drunk Spencer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really surprising. He's got the stolen food, and he tells Deanna she's a dreamer. And sure enough, right before that, she'd been drawing on that big piece of paper, remember, plots, where to plant alfalfa, and that was just weird. And then she seemed really satisfied and kind of centered herself when she was doing that.
Yeah, but that was kind of odd. I mean, in the middle of all that, she decides to map out all this stuff on the little map that she's got.
Yeah, but see, that's how she zens herself out, because it's still a community, everything's going to be fine. But when he said that, Chubby Bruce was right, the people who were at the food bank were right, that they are going to die, you could just see her face crumble. And I thought, oh my God, she's going to be mentally a goner now. But it turns out he done fired her up.
True.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Spencer sitting there telling her it was all her fault and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, like he could have done any of that or pulled that community together. He did give a righteous speech, right?
Yeah.
Now Fuzzfork says he does not trust Jesse's one kid, that Ron one, right? The one who thinks he's a thug who's 15 years old, Fuzz.
Oh, yeah, I don't trust him either.
Oh, and I'm with Fuzz. He was sucking up to Rick on that wall, right? And he knows that Rick shot his dad. And then I like how Rick took the bullets out of the gun before he gave it to him. You know what I mean? Because he's creeping. Oh, and speaking of that, how about that freaking girl fight that Carl and Ron had, like slapping at each other? What happened to putting up some fist?
I noticed that, like the first little jump at each other.
Yes.
Like, what? I said, what the hell? I mean, she jumped at her like she was going to do something, then she like eased up. But they're actors.
It was a little sissy-fied, yeah, because Carl, I mean, he's an experienced thug out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
Carl would kill him.
Then we go to the infirmary, and it's Tara, right? That's who the girl is. And then Denise, I think, is the name of the psychiatrist who's taken over for the surgeon who Rick had to kill.
Yeah,
Is that Denise?
Yeah, she's the stand-in doctor. I'm not sure what her name is. They had the little kiss.
The cute little chubby chick.
Do you know it, Tommy? Do you think it's Denise? Does anybody, does Fuzzfork know?
I think you're right.
Good night, Chuck.
Nightmare.
So we'll call her Denise, right? And her being afraid, and that is the guy, I think, in the infirmary bed who was shot in the back of the leg and brought back by Michonne and the guy with the dreads or the braids. Okay. Yeah. And then so she's reading a medical book, and then if it weren't for Tara coming in, I think she would have given up.
Yeah, but I never thought Tara would have been the one to just let her kiss her.
Okay, oh my God, that freaked me out. So did everyone know that Tara was gay but me? But because I forgot.
Yeah,
when she lived.
Yeah, she was involved with somebody else back when they were just left, like from the governor.
Yeah, when they were in the RVs and stuff with the governor, she was hooked up with another chick.
Okay, because before that she was in a town, right? And her dad or her girlfriend's dad drove the food truck that they had backed up to their door, and they were living in the apartment before he died. Okay, that's how long ago it is. I forgot that she was gay.
But see, I was hoping Eugene could turn her.
Oh God! Oh, that's a visual, Tommy. No, 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 no. Nobody wants to grab that mullet. Nobody.
Yeah, but
I would like to grab that mullet and sling it over a tree.
no, come on. Eugene is a good character. I like Eugene now.
Eugene should have died 2 seasons ago before he was even on a season.
Well, of course he should have, but he's a good character.
I can't stand him.
I mean, think about it. He's the one person that shouldn't even be alive, and he's still alive because he's using his brain to stay alive.
Yes.
Everybody else is just using muscle and determination. Hell, he's using his brain.
So, have you guys talked about Maggie yet and the big reveal?
No, not yet, because we hadn't got there. But the thing about Eugene, right, is remember, he kept Abraham from killing himself. Remember, Abraham was ready to eat his gun way back in that season.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Eugene gave him a reason to live.
I didn't really like Eugene to begin with because of the way he was manipulating everything. But as it came around, he was actually keeping a lot of people alive with his manipulation.
Yes.
He kept
Everybody needs a why, a WHY. It's why men go to work and suffer in rough jobs, why men go do concrete work, backbreaking work. They have a why of providing for a family. And Eugene, having to get to Washington because he was so brilliant, just gave them all time to get their mind back,
Yeah.
Okay, now, Ohio, talk about the big reveal.
Yeah, it's a big reveal. Maggie announced that she was pregnant. So how's that going to swing things? Okay, first of all, does everyone believe that Glenn's dead or not?
Don't know.
He's not dead. There's no
God,
way.
I hope Glenn's dead.
I'm not a Glenn fan either. A lot of people like him, but I could care less.
Me too.
I was a Glenn fan, but then I started turning against him because he kept doing stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He went down in the well to get the walker out of the well. How dumb was that?
Beyond retarded.
And then he went out with Rick to get the truck. I mean, he does a lot of stupid stuff that he shouldn't be doing.
Unnecessary dangers.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I miss? And I was really a big, huge Carl fan when Carl was like the ultimate badass. When Rick was like losing it, and Carl was like fucking bam, shooting people in the head and everything. Like, if you don't kill him, I will. That's what I was loving Carl at that point. And I could care less. I'm like, they need to make Carl in charge of this group. Because Carl was, back during the prison and stuff with Maggie's dad. What was his name?
Herschel.
Herschel, yeah. Herschel was worried about him being too violent and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and then when they got to the one area and they were locked in that house right before those guys kidnapped, what was the little blonde girl's name? Maggie's little sister, Beth. Yeah, during that whole fiasco, what was it, last season or whatever, like, Carl became pussyfied again or something. I don't know, man. He's not the badass Carl that he used to be.
Remember the season, it was last season or the season before, I think it was the opener too, when we're in a house and the door gets kicked in and it's Carl coming in first, right? And they're all operating like a military unit, to clear a house. And that was, when we saw him, and that was he would have been 2 years younger at that point. But I'm with you. I liked it. I don't want to go through his teenage angst and his crush on the emotionally dead and the dead emotionally actress of Enid,
Yeah, we don't need a love story with Carl. I'm sorry, we don't. I mean, it's just...
But in the graphic novel, there's already a love story with Carl. Him and Enid leaves the group for the Wolves, or the Whisperers.
They use what for them?
Carl and Enid actually left the group for the Whisperers.
Shut up.
But they're so far off from the...
Oh, yeah.
From that. I mean, because Judith is still alive, Judith died.
Supposed to be dead already.
In prison.
Did y'all have a clue that Maggie was pregnant when she agreed, and Glenn, with no argument, that he would go out there alone without her? Because she even brought this up this time about, I burned the picture of him because I was never going to be away from him, and I hated that scene, right? And because I'd never been away from him again, so at least he knew she was pregnant, but then he left her behind and he shouldn't have gone.
Well, I actually read the graphic novels, so I kind of knew what was coming.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the show's nothing like the comics, so.
Yeah, you got to keep a crowd happy. That's never read the comics,
Yeah, that's the only reason some of them are still alive is because they make such good characters. And in the graphic novels, there's no Daryl.
I mean, because Rick, in the graphic novels, Rick lost his hand to the governor chopped it off.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was never a Daryl in the comics, never. So that would kill Mouse right off the bat.
See, that's what's got me, is there wasn't enough Daryl. And it's all about keeping my television clean, my laptop monitor clean is all due to Daryl. I mean, I clean it with my tongue. But there is not enough Daryl. And next week looks horrible for my boy. Oh God, Will Hornbuckle Googled gay porn and it brought him here to this chat.
Oh, good Lord. I will.
That's so wrong.
How you doing, Will?
Now, what did y'all think of Jessie when she's on the porch, right? And didn't she stab Betsy, the walker in the house? She stabbed her through the eye, it looked like to me.
Well, she didn't do a violent stab. It was more of a, I love you, let me shove these scissors in your eyeball.
Oh, yeah. And then she says to the people gathered, and Chubby Bruce was there, the fat guy, I did not want to see the way things are, but this is what life looks like now. We have to see it. We have to fight it or we die. And they queued that scene up like it was going to be some righteous speech. And it was just so anticlimactic for me. But they all looked mortified that she had to do it.
I think reality is setting in on all of them.
Yeah, and they don't like it, do they? You can tell they're just like, this is so icky.
But I think they're going to be blaming the group because they never had these problems until that group showed up. Rick's group.
That's true. Yep. Even though Aaron said they've just been and they've all explained that they've only been protected by a geographic thing of the quarry. Because I remember when Aaron was out and he met our group at the barn, right? And that was after the tornado, wasn't it? And they all lived through that. That was so scary.
Yeah.
That they don't take that road. We haven't cleared it. And I thought, you can't clear a road of walkers because there could be 400, the next block down that you don't hear. And so they were just protected by a fluke of nature in that quarry.
Yeah, but could you imagine what that herd would have done if they hadn't have ran it halfway off?
Oh, those walls, which are already raggedy. We talked last week, Ohio. We don't understand why the posts, some of the supporting posts, are on the outside of the wall that just let somebody crawl up them, instead of inside the community.
I've really never paid attention to them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Jason needs another link. He can't find it. He's young, Tommy.
Okay, Jason, we hunt you up.
It's coming, Jason. Jason had to go eat supper. Okay, now what about Wendy? I was very shocked after Spencer tongue lashes his mother and blames her, right, for having them live in La La Land in that community. That was all her doing, right? Her husband's expertise on the wall. She pulled all the people together. When she is in the dark returning the basket to the food bank, right, and goes total thug maniac on that walker with a broken bottle. I am still flabbergasted that little, I got too tight of a facelift Deanna. The woman's got to be 80 years old in real life. went totally bananas.
And she didn't know that to hit the brain. So she just went for the chest as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. She just kept going and going and going. She had no experience that you had to kill the brain.
Okay, I thought she was just letting her aggression out, but that makes sense. Is they've just been watching our group, right? Like kind of grossed out at them, watching Rick take out the surgeon, right? Shoot him in the head. They've learned nothing from our group, and all the time that our group has been there, they have taught these clowns people, is what I think of them instead of townspeople, nothing. So she didn't know. Okay, that makes sense, because man, she wailed on that.
Yeah, and then Rick came up, stabbed him in the head, and it was over.
Oh, and that's what was so groovy, is then Rick pulls it together and goes, Daryl said he got one, but he couldn't find the body. And then they point over to that house, and the walker had been in that crawl space. I like how they pulled that together.
That was Carol, by the way. Not Daryl.
She said Carol. Yeah, well, see, I was missing Daryl, Jason. He said Carol got one. That's right, because Daryl was out on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I dream of Daryl just walking down the street, coming over to eat dinner with me. I always make him cookies. I have a whole life going with Daryl, if you don't mind. So, because somebody died, I thought it was him. Thank you. So that was pretty.
Have you ever seen Boondock Saints?
Boondock Saints?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen part 2.
Yeah, you got to go get Boondock Saints if you like Daryl. I mean, that's the movie he was in.
That's the young Norman Reedus. That's a funny movie.
That's a great movie.
Okay, now how about when Rick's there and she asks Rick, is this all pie? I want to live. Did she say I want to live, and ask him, is this all pie in the sky? So at least what Spencer said to her did affect her.
I think it was seeing all the zombies and then Spencer going off on her saying it was her fault. That tore her up.
She's amped now. You saw her go up to the fence, the chain link fence, and slam her hands with the zombies just on the other side.
Yeah, I thought she was going to open the gate and let them all in, to be honest with you.
Okay, me too. I went, oh crap, she cracked, right? Like Chubby Bruce, like everybody in there. Instead, she is 5 feet tall of angry old broad. She's got the red ass. She's fired up.
Now, what was her character? Wasn't she like a congresswoman or something from Ohio or something like that?
I think she said so, yeah, a senator, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then filming them, all that beginning was so weird. Okay, now this is what I did not understand, right? Okay, when we had Jesse and Rick in the garage, okay, and he's like filthy and all funkadelic, and she's looking at some shirt. Okay, he said he was trying to explain to her why he didn't want to bury the bodies. She had the killer, right? So she had the wolf female from her kitchen. And he said, we don't bury killers. And he said, I wanted to wait on the bodies for Glenn and Sasha and Daryl and Abraham. I didn't get that at all. Did you understand that, Jason?
I think it's like he wanted them to just be sure before they actually bury. Like, I don't know if they're trying to like save some space for them or something like that because he doesn't know.
Oh, yeah, because now they can't bury outside the wall at all because the zombies are 20 deep. Ooh, see, I knew you would know this stuff. See, that's bugging. That is bugging, because I was like, yeah, because space is limited, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then Deanna wrote in Latin on that little, like, food, somebody's calling. When she wrote on the little food plot where she had alfalfa, you know, and then her son tells her, you know, the all pie in the sky stuff, in Latin, like, dolor, of course, pain, so same in Spanish. So the closest translation is the pain is somewhere down the road going to be worth it. And I didn't quite understand her writing that because that was before Spencer verbally abused her, right? Didn't quite understand how that comes into play.
Wasn't she already in pain, don't you think? Because she lost so many people, and that's pretty painful.
Yeah, and the herd was right outside her gate. But she keeps such a positive attitude, doesn't she? Like, we're going to make it. I had no idea that she could go that bananas on a walker. Because that was a big walker, too.
I think it's mainly because she didn't realize how bad it really was. Yeah, like you said, the quarry was keeping them away, so they'd see one or two, and her scavenging groups would see a few. No real big herds. So until she seen how bad it really was, and then the wolves came in and attacked, she saw what it was on the outside.
Hey, does anybody else have a suspicion about the sign that they keep showing for Alexandria?
Yes.
The homes starting out at 800,000 or something like that. I mean, 800,000 for one of those homes is very expensive. Those look like $160,000 homes, or $200,000 homes. Those are not $800,000 homes. So, what is the deal with the $800,000 homes? I mean,
it's because they're solar powered. Remember, and you see all the rain barrels. It's a sustainable community. We call those Mac mansions, where they're crammed up next to other houses, like less than a third of an acre. But it's all the granite countertops, right? The hickory floors, the tall ceilings. And then it's because it's a sustainable community. And they're in, Virginia, right?
Yeah, close to D.C., right?
Yeah, which is super expensive real estate. But I'm with you. That would be, even without the solar, would be a $245,000 house in Greenville, South Carolina, tops.
It's just something suspicious about it, and they keep showing it over and over.
And they need to move the sign, right? Why? You have wolves out there. What about new groups who might be out there like Rick's? But I think they wanted to draw people to them. But why didn't they put up a sign like Terminus, safety this way on those signs? But I agree with you. They show it like 3-4 times.
Oh, after Terminus, I'd never trust another group.
No, me either.
I got a sign up that said safety here and all that kind of crap. I'd never trusted them. Not after Terminus.
Well, you had Woodbury,
Oh, God, that's true. God, the governor was awesome.
And that was just as bad as Terminus. The only difference was they wasn't eating people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I forgot about, we talked about Carl being badass. Do you guys remember when he got shot in, second season or whatever?
Yeah.
Yes. This is what I remember about Carl. He was never in his darn room when his raggedy hoeing mama, right, Lori, the bag of human bones, I wanted to force feed that girl cheeseburger and Krispy Kremes, would tell him to stay in his room. God, his hair has always been horrific. He's got the Justin Bieber bowl thing happening. But look how tall he is now. It's so funny. He was just a little punk.
Yeah. Especially if you just watch the very first season, whoa, he's grown a bit.
Yeah. Oh, and that hat he wore. Oh, I can smell that hat if I think about it. Remember his dad's top hat? Yep. I miss Shane. Oh, I loved Shane. Shane knew how to survive in this environment.
He had the idea before everybody else.
Yep. Now, did y'all like Andrea? I loved Andrea because she was pretty. Yeah, she was beautiful, I thought, and I'm a chick.
She's still alive in the comics, which is what I would like to have her still alive anyway.
The only thing I didn't like about it when they got rid of her was the mistakes they make.
Yes.
He hands her a revolver and closes the door, and you hear the gunshot, and then you hear the shell hitting the ground.
Oh, that's the gun dropping.
No. You hear it. You hear the shell. It's the ting ting. It's. And then I watched on the what's the new show? Fear the Walking Dead?
Yeah.
He got the double barrel shotgun, and he tosses it to him across the room, and he goes, you know, it's like,
Yes.
no.
See, Fear the Walking Dead. I only like the older man from El Salvador or something who had the wife who got sick, and then he has the pretty daughter.
Yeah.
I don't like the lead character, the mom of the heroine act. Her face is the same. But it's not like Botox, where my mother just died, and you can't tell if they're happy, or they go, my mother just died, and then with the same face they go, I'm so happy I'm getting married, because they're frozen. And then the
I don't like
tall,
the heroin addict. He needs to die.
oh my God, and he calls it his medicine. Yeah, and I need to scrub his hair with a Brillo pad. Somebody shave it for we all head lice
What
there.
kills me is the one scene they show him in the swimming pool, right?
Yes.
And then the next scene they show him and he's dressed. Okay, he
Mhm.
is at his house, right? Where they live.
Mhm.
Why did he put the old man from the hospital's clothes back on?
Oh, he wasn't living there. Remember?
That
Well,
was
anyway,
next door.
I'm sure he could find something besides those old grubby clothes from the old man in the hospital.
But he's a heroin addict, man. They like their crap smelly. And then he goes over there and takes the drip, and the man's up there convulsing. What a despicable human being he is. And I don't like the husband of his mom, who has no expression. They're just sort of lethargic. There's no energy. Talk about low energy. I'm like,
But
people.
you got to realize where they're at, and that's probably how these people would actually act.
It's California.
California, yeah.
See?
They're
God.
they're just,
Yeah, they could. Can you imagine them in The Walking Dead trying to run in their expensive boots that aren't made for the woods, right? Who would carry the Hermes purse? The Michonne would be out there in hooker heels. It'd just be ridiculous, And there wasn't enough Michonne. We only saw her at the beginning, right, Tommy? When Deanna's on the wall, or going to it, and she sees Michonne come in. We see Michonne from the back. Oh, and how about who started writing names on the wall? I thought for a minute it was Maggie writing Glenn's name.
It's just creepy.
Ew, I didn't like it, and they wrote it so big. I was like, where am I, at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial? Nobody wants to see that in a neighborhood.
Yeah, that's like really turning it into a graveyard.
Yeah, there it is. That was the theme. Yeah, you nailed it. It's very weird.
Didn't you say that? It's like, this is becoming a graveyard.
Okay, and Joe Bob asked a good question. What's going to happen to the young Dave Grohl, the wolf, that Morgan's keeping captive in that basement?
That's what I put up. I put that up on my G+. I said, like, is it a wolf or is it a young Dave Grohl?
I want to clean him with a Brillo pad, too, because he is like psycho. Now, what did you like about the episode or not like, Jason?
Not as many walker kills.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it needs a little bit more excitement, but that sewer part was pretty exciting.
Oh, no, the sewer walkers were cool. Especially the fact that Maggie stuck her hand through one of them.
Oh, and Maggie, if he would not have stuck it, Maggie said she had it, Maggie was getting bit if it weren't for Aaron. Because her hand was, you can't hold them away when they're crumbling, and that head's, the jaw's still working next to the skull.
Yeah. I guess, like, if I was in that situation, I would have grabbed the spine, and that's the way I'll be controlling him. Because it's still kind of attached. It has to be if he's moving with his arms and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was very funky, man. Just, ugh. And that it had been there. And I was glad to see it was locked and had a bar over it, because I thought, oh my gosh, the wolves or anybody could come in through that. When Aaron was like unchaining it and lifting a bar off to get into it, that it was part of the old neighborhood that was there.
Yeah.
Well, as a safety precaution, they could have kind of let the zombies in and just trapped them in there.
But God, that noise would echo that rah, 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 gnashing their jaws together.
I mean, it'd be kind of hard to get through every one of them to get into the town that way.
And Fuzz makes a good point. Maggie went down and erased Glenn's name from the wall, and then Aaron was using his sleeve to erase another name, but I don't know whose name he was erasing. Nicholas.
Nicholas, yeah.
Now, who is Nicholas to him? That's not his boyfriend, is it?
No,
No.
that's the one that got.
Glenn.
Yeah.
Say it again, Jason.
The one that shot in his head.
Yes. Right. Oh gosh.
If you remember back to last year,
The one that landed on top of Glenn and got eaten by zombies while Glenn got underneath the dumpster.
Yes. Right. Glenn has to be dead because they didn't bring Beth back. I wasn't a big Beth fan except for that scene where she got drunk with Daryl in that shack and they burned it down.
Yeah, but here's one thing. The Talking Dead, Glenn's not on it.
Yeah.
Every time they kill somebody off, they always appear on The Talking Dead after the show.
But you know what would turn me on is if Glenn showed up in the Walker Horde and Maggie was on the wall and recognized him.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And it was... Go ahead.
What if the Walker Glenn is just walking and then going after Maggie, but Maggie doesn't recognize him as a walker, and then Negan comes in and smashes his brain, and then Maggie...
You still haven't met Negan. Negan
is the next villain.
Oh, my God.
I've not read that part of it yet. I haven't got that far.
You know who carried this whole episode was Aaron.
Yeah.
He was so compassionate in the sewer in Maggie's, because you know she's British, right? Her accent was getting all hinky at the end, and he was willing to like die. You know, he has such guilt over leading the wolves, those people as he calls them. And I hate that they haven't had a conversation of the W on the forehead. You know, the town doesn't have a meeting, right? Unless it's, you know, a stupid few of them gathered when Deanna had that meeting and the gate was left open. They don't have, like, all go meet at somewhere. He carried the whole episode in there with his compassion of, that's okay, you stay. I'll try and go out. And that's the first time Maggie hasn't tried to save something or do something kind of irrational. You know, all because she's with child now.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'd want in a zombie apocalypse is pregnant people in my group. I would have to go Carol, right? Sneak in their house, hold some flowers in front of them and say, look at the flowers, and take them out. We'd need just one gynecologist to do a bunch of mass hysterectomies or something, because ain't nobody needs a screaming baby.
Yeah.
Zombie apocalypse.
My thing is, you know, okay, we're how do I say this? We have a need and desire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Human species. But I haven't seen any one of these people take a shower in like 5 years that the show's been on, so I don't think I would be even.
Wait, now, Rick took a shower.
Everybody but Daryl took a shower when they first came into the neighborhood. Remember them showering at the CDC?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But that was literally 5 years ago. You nailed it. That was beautiful. But when Rick was making out with Jessie in her garage, he would have got a hand palm from me, not Daryl, of, okay, go in and at least wash your face in that sweat-soaked freaking hair before you try. When's the last time they brushed their teeth? But you remember when they first came into this community, only Daryl wouldn't shower. And Carol told him he needed to take a shower. And she came out looking all junior league. You look ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I wouldn't be getting jiggy with any of them because they are funky.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm curious if they're going to have a winter. Are we going to get snow? They haven't dealt with any of those
You
things.
can't do winter because it's not realistic for the zombies.
Oh.
If you did like a winter and a harsh winter or whatever, one winter would kill all the zombies off.
Yeah, because
They would freeze.
They say it just slows them down. That's what they say.
a snowdrift. Yeah, it can't be an Iowa or a Michigan kind
You
of.
don't see Walking Dead Alaska, do you?
No, you don't. You do not. You know? Ugh. I thought this was a little bit of low energy. I wanted to, but at least the opening scene when Rick was running with that herd, that was a righteous scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to know how he got out of the RV.
Oh, and Fuzz makes a good point. Rick shaved and showered. Remember, he shaved off the beard when they came into the community. Remember how long he had a beard?
Yeah.
And they showed him in the shower and the filth running off of him down that white bathtub.
Yeah. But I still want to know how he got out of the RV.
Okay, yeah, that's going to be wild, because they were coming around from all sides.
Yeah, he was pretty much surrounded.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And where you saw the previews with our side, so Daryl's run out of gas or something, and he's pushing his motorcycle through the woods, that's crazy. And then Sasha and Abraham are outside of the car, that raggedy car they drive. They don't have a mechanic in that community because the RV would have started if, Dale would have been maintaining it, or even Daryl.
Well, no. It would have anyway. It's when those two guys jumped inside the RV to kill Rick, they shot the front of it up.
Oh.
Yeah, they were shooting at it and they were hitting like the dash panel and everything, so they, maybe they messed something up where it wouldn't crank.
Because I was thinking when, Rick went all bananas with the assault rifle, as not gun people would call it, when he was shooting through the side panel at the people outside. Ooh,
Yep.
my screen just went wonky. I hate wonky. Oh, yeah, I've lost the X-Turtle chat, everything.
Oh, it's not good.
No, well, I totally dug. I liked the episode. It wasn't as good as it could have been if it would have kept that momentum from the beginning, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Okay, now my chat's back. There it is. That's freaky. I hate that when your screen goes black, but it's a Google issue.
Yeah.
Did you like it particularly well, Ohio, or just sort of eh?
It was an for me.
Did you like last week's Ohio, the 90 minutes of Eastman,
No.
Aikido? Okay, I suffered through that episode. I was like, oh my God, what is happening?
It was interesting, but that should have been, a 15, 20-minute segment throughout the whole show.
And like we said last week, if Eastman had lived, it would have made sense. But we lost him, and now we've just got Morgan, and we already really knew Morgan's, how he started out, the wife walking as a zombie, not being able to shoot her. We knew that. If Eastman would have lived, that 90 minutes would have been worth it. Because I like Morgan all mysterious. Like Michonne used to be. Remember how quiet Michonne was?
Yeah.
And then I thought she and Andrea would get something going instead. And Fuzz confirmed the infirmary little chubby girl who kissed Tara, her name is Denise, the psychiatrist. So I don't know how many more episodes we have to go until it's whatever this mid-season break crud is. Because it took forever for October to get here to see this much.
Is there two? I know there's at least two more, I think.
Oh,
Okay.
I think it's like episode 8 or something like that.
And wasn't Sasha and Daryl just supposed to leave that big herd that now is only half of it, and they had a turnaround point somewhere? Didn't they have a turnaround point?
Yeah, it was like 20 miles down the road.
That's right, because That's right. 20 miles is our mission. So you know they had to have enough gas for that. What the heck happened?
Maybe Daryl just got on a wrong exit or something like that, or
Well,
like
Okay, you
he
shut
took off
your
that.
mouth, Jason. Daryl doesn't make wrong exits. Okay, stop it.
He took
or
off the week before and
had,
was going to
what
go
if
back
he
to
had
town.
walkers?
One at a time. Say it again, Jason.
What if he had to because of walkers?
Oh, there could have been another herd like coming.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, they got to get home because I cannot imagine the show without Daryl because he's the only hottie. Glenn is like doing a toddler because he's like looks like a little boy, you know. And Abraham is such a thug. Look how many people he has saved. Like when they were building the wall, and the townspeople, the clownspeople as I call them, were willing to just leave that girl to die, and he can rumble like Michonne can rumble.
Yeah, but Michonne and that sword. I mean, dang, that woman's
Mm-hmm.
bad.
Yeah. So now, do we have any hope of Michonne getting a relationship? Because I thought she and Rick had a connection, but he clearly wants to wrang. Oh, 3 more episodes, Fuzz says. He
Uh,
clearly wants to bang the abused woman of the surgeon. You know, he's got to go save women.
she's supposed to be getting hooked up with Morgan.
No, don't like it. Don't like that at all.
Well,
Oh,
in the comic books, Tyrese and Michonne were supposed to be getting together.
That I would have loved.
Yeah.
I cried like a girl when Tyrese died. When he went outside and had to live Judith, I knew, oh, he's dead. And he comes back. Total thug. And a big old heart. He had a heart like Dale. You know, I miss the Dale character too.
Oh yeah, Dale was one of my favorites.
I'm
We,
glad Dale died.
Tommy,
Well,
don't be cruel.
I'm sorry, I didn't like him.
He was so cute. And that Herschel had to die because you were not going to make it in the apocalypse with one leg. You just cannot be Long John Silver here.
Herschel,
The comic books, Tyrese actually replaced Herschel.
Get out.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I think Herschel died one of them, like the gunshot. Well, they kind of died in the same area and stuff like that.
Now, Fuzz in the external says Daryl may be keeping the noise down by pushing his motorcycle.
he might have ran out of gas because if you'll remember, the week before, he took off and went chasing. I guess he was going back to Alexandria to help them.
Yeah,
And then he
but
had to turn around and come back, and he was pushing the bike pretty hard coming back.
but I think surely Sasha's the smart one, right? They would have had some gas cans in the back of that car. Because going slow burns some gas,
Yeah.
right? Just idling.
Yeah, but are you going to stop and fill up the gas tank with a herd of 20,000 walkers following you?
Yes,
Well,
because when they did the aerial view, they were way behind him. Remember, you can go get a little jump on him and keep Daryl there in front of him. Abraham would do it in 2 seconds. Abraham could gas it up while the thing's he's walking next to it.
Well, if they had a decent mechanic, they could have, made him a trunk that was a gas tank.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have been dangerous unless he's being shot at.
Well, and that's the thing that gets me is the clowns people, include Deanna, have not used the skills. You know, Daryl is a mechanic, but the group has also laid low. Remember? But thanks to Carol, stealing from the infirmary. Ew. And that little kid Sam who won't come down from downstairs. Okay, he is badly broken, but I don't have any compassion for him, nor do I care about Ron. The angst, the teenage angst. I just don't care.
he finally took off his beanie. Did you notice that?
Yes, ooh, and because I thought, can you imagine? It was summertime, and you could smell his hair. Hey,
Yeah.
Deb, the RN, she loves the show. It's addictive. We are addicted too. We love it. All right, so we're coming up on our hour mark, and we try to keep this to an hour, unless something, sexy about Daryl happens, and then I'll have to emote about that for about an extra 10 minutes. But other than that, Jason, you rock, and thank you. Try to eat earlier so you could be here at 9. We count on you, and you have great insight.
Thank you.
So thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Ohio, I hope you'll come back. It's 9 p.m. every Monday. We only got 3 more episodes, Fuzzfork8 says.
Yeah, I could probably handle those because I can't do the late ones because it's my bedtime right now.
Yeah, I can't do the late ones either. And Deb the RN, I hope you'll come back next Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I know that you've been on chats. You're more than welcome to get on the panel. We would love to have you up here.
Yeah.
So just let us know.
Yeah.
All right, Tommy, you want to take us off air, please, sir?
All right. Bye, people. Thanks for
Bye.
coming.